I've been on a bit of a basics binge lately, and just making a lot of like turtlenecks and long sleeve shirts. Right now my preferred turtleneck pattern is the rise and fall turtleneck. In particular, I've been doing the rise view. And with the standard widths of fabric, and because both the front and back pieces are cut on the fold, I ended up folding my fabric so that I had two different folds going at once, which was a little bit fiddly to do, but I ended up getting it mostly split in half and had enough room to do my front and back pieces. This was a really easy pattern to follow, and you could easily do it in a day. And for some of the shirts I made, I did. For the construction, the first step is to sew the front to the back at the shoulder seams. Oh, and for all the sewing I did on my sewing machine, I used this kind of slanted zigzag stitch that, according to my manual, is the best stitch type to use for stretchy fabrics. Although if your machine doesn't have this, I believe a zigzag stitch should be fine. You just have to be a little bit more careful about puckering. And then you attach the sleeve and sew the side seams. Of course, finishing all seams as you go. I used my serger for this. After that, I attached the collar, which I did adjust the size of depending on how stretchy the fabric was. If it was a floppier, stretchier fabric, I would decrease the size of the turtleneck pattern. This is definitely something to make the full size the first time and then try it on prior to attaching it to the shirt, since before attaching it is the easiest point to make any alterations to the size that you want. And the final step is finishing the edges of the sleeves and the bottom of the shirt. For this shirt, I tried out just doing a serged edge and then folding it over once. And I think it looks okay, but I think in the future, I'll always do a double fold over because I think it makes a cleaner look, and I might still do that to this shirt at some point. And here's the finished product. I think this pattern is amazingly comfortable, and especially with the broad back adjustment, it was really eye-opening how comfortable a fitted knit shirt can be. I would rate this pattern 10 out of 10. And next I'll move on to the Nora Tee. The reason I combined these two videos is because the construction between the Nora Tee and the rise and fall turtleneck is basically the same, with just some changes for the neckline. For the Nora Tee, I also did a broad back adjustment. In addition to that, I used the long sleeve pattern from the rise and fall turtleneck and put it on top of the sleeve pattern for the Nora Tee and kind of combined them so that I could make a long sleeve V-neck shirt. And then, just like the rise and fall turtleneck, I attached the front and back pieces at the shoulders, attached the sleeve, and sewed the side seams and inserted the collar. Like I said, basically the same construction. Other than, I found the V-neck collar a lot trickier to put in, especially on the tip of the V-neck, which, unless you get it lined up perfectly, can pucker quite a bit and gape a bit. So you have to be very careful to attach the collar exactly the way the pattern shows, and even then I usually ended up having to rip out the collar right at that tip and then baste it in hand sewing before reattaching it. And I think this will be a permanent part of my assembly process because I've had to do it on the last 3 t-shirts I've made. And then the last step, just like on the other shirt, was hemming the sleeves and the bottom of the shirt. I think my favorite method of doing this is just to do a double fold on both of them to whatever your preferred length is. And then you're done. I really enjoyed sewing the Nora Tee as well. It's one of the few patterns I've actually found that has a relaxed fit V-neck shirt, And while it didn't come with the long sleeve pattern, combining it with the rise and fall sleeve worked out just fine in my opinion. And I really recommend both of these patterns. If you've sewn either one of them or plan to, let me know. And let me know what kind of fabrics you used. So far all of the fabrics I've done for these two shirts, including the ones in this video, have all been from StyleMaker in various kinds of knits, rib knits, modal or cotton. So I'm curious what everyone else has done. Thank you. Bye.